Ladies and gents, welcome to a 1v1 in Games of the Week. We have BadBoy in the red playing as the Slavs and T playing as the Persians. What? Talk about civs that have good eco and exciting units, but you don't see the exciting units too frequently. I'll talk about why I think that is in just a moment, but a BadBoy is definitely the overdog here, which would make T the underdog. And unless this is the other T, I think T is a 2K from the United Kingdom. I actually used to play with T back in 2013, believe it or not. Used to play him all the time. He was way better than me back then, but there was a few guys from the UK. There was T, and then there's a player who I don't think who plays much anymore named Sting. Both players eventually reached like top 200 in the world, and I've remembered them for so many years. So it's good to see T playing. And whatever is going on in his life, I hope everything's going good for him. So Persians is a civ that has a unique unit called the War Elephant. And don't get excited. I don't think we're going to see any War Elephants because it's so obscenely good and also so obscenely expensive. And then Slavs kind of have this Boyar unit, but the Boyar isn't really in a great balance spot right now. I mean, it is strong if you make them, but it never feels like the right time competitively to make it. So that's why I introduced this game the way I did, because I just don't think we're going to see the unique units much. What we will see is small things taking advantage of. So Persians, they start with plus 50 wood and plus 50 food. So it's easier for you to be able to add an early barracks, for example. Maybe add in some militia. Or you could just use those resources to go for a really strong scout rush. I do prefer the Slavs here, and I think I prefer the Slavs because the Slavs have very fast farms. And their farms put them well above mid-tier in my eyes. Maybe they keeps them at mid-tier, I don't know. It's probably the best civilization for all-in Castle Ages. And it's a shame we don't see the Slavs more frequently. Maybe we'll see it in this game, but when you get to about 30 farms with Slavs, it feels like you have 45 with any other civilization. And so one of the most successful things you can do is just put your foot on the gas, add extra stables to make more knights. And then what's especially strong is you can mix in some pikes and then mix in that very cheap siege. But yeah, BadBoy is, if T is 2K, looks like Ethan just said he's around 1900 when this game was played. A BadBoy is a good 300 to 400 elo higher. So this will actually be a very entertaining game to kind of see the differences between someone who's in the top 30 and someone who's maybe top 150 or wherever T was when this game was played. All right. But yeah, I wish both of these civs were a little stronger in 1v1s. I know there's some people out there who love Persians and love Slavs. The win rates aren't really there for either of these civs, so this is why a lot of high-level players like to play with random civs, so you get to see different civ matchups. Don't see the same stuff all the time. I don't know how much of my audience comes from other RTS backgrounds, but I know StarCraft, for example, I think only had like 4 or 5 civs or factions or whatever. And I get from a competitive perspective, you'd probably appreciate it at a certain point. But I think that one of the many things that H2 has going for itself is how much variety there is with civs. We have 39 now. I think it's 39. Maybe it's 37. All right, let's talk scouting. T spent quite a bit of time at home, but did find the enemy and just saw the houses here. Wait, there's only 3 in StarCraft 2? No way. I thought it was 5. And Warcraft has 4? Really? Wow, that's surprising. I thought there was so much more than that. I thought 5 was low. Huh. All right. Anyways, BadBoy, let's look at his scouting. Yeah, this is pretty typical. I'm finding the enemy around 7 minutes. I say typical because it was a little greedy, right? But he can be greedy because he is the higher player in this game. He sees the TC. It looks like he got hit in the face with an arrow. And now he sees the barracks, so he doesn't really need to worry that he's going to have any militia coming over to his base or anything like that. Mateus says, I really like the competitive AoE 4 because the variance in early game. Yeah, but I think... So I do like the variance in early game with AoE 4, but my worry is the lack of depth in every other aspect of the game. With arrows not hitting, all the... Like, for example, arrows always hitting, sorry. And if if a build order's figured out, despite the early game being different, I'm a little worried that it might get a little bland in the mid game. But we'll have to see. I think it's a little too early to tell. To be honest, as good as AoE 4 is right now, it's going to take a couple patches, I think, until it's in a spot that I really enjoy it. And it'll never replace AoE 2 for me, so we'll see. Never say never. Maybe in like 6 months, I'll just be like, peace out, AoE 2. But after 8 years of AoE 2, like, let me put it to you this way. A new game coming out does not diminish my interest in this game. I'm like completely fixated, completely addicted. Surprise, surprise. What? Guy who's spent pretty much a decade on one game still likes that game? What? Surprising. Now, this is interesting. Check this out. So, if you notice, BadBoy didn't make any militia. And with a normal man-at-arm play, what you would do is you would make the militia and then click man-at-arms just like T has done here. But Slavs get supplies for free. So, BadBoy, who's been very cheeky with his scout here, he goes fast feudal, he researches his farm and his wood upgrade, and now he gets the man-at-arm upgrade, and now he makes the militia. So, this is crazy. And we talked about, like, maybe someone implied there's not a lot of variance in terms of openings in AoE 2. I know, like, unit-wise, and it can be very similar at times, but, like, this I have not seen before at a high level. Like, this right here, waiting for the man-at-arms, normally your time window is passed. So, the reason I say that is because you want the man-at-arms to hit, you want them to do damage, and then if you make man-at-arms at around 12 minutes, archers are already out. So you look back home, there's already archers. But I think if BadBoy, instead of thinking, let's take the initiative and let's get an early attack in, he's thinking, let's farm as much as we can. So, instead of following it up with an archer range, he's just going for farms. Fastest farming civ in the game. He's going to make 4 of these things. And he honestly has had much better micro than T so far. He's had great command on his scout. Look at that. Wow, he gets the hill. And he will probably end up winning this fight in the end. He goes to save his scout now. Oh, man, this is just disrespectful at this point. Look at that. And now we have, as Blue loses the scout, we have 4 men-at-arms against 2. But on the bright side for T, Persian TCs do work faster. So you are pumping out Vills a little bit faster, which will eventually lead to a Vill lead or 2. And there's no way for BadBoy's army to really do anything against you now. And BadBoy's making more of them. So BadBoy, while it is cheaper, which is what free supplies will do for you, BadBoy's making more men-at-arms. But he's going to see the range here and be like, well, crap. My opponent's making archers. Yeah, that micro was really fun to watch, though. 3-2 KD. The biggest thing is that he has the scout alive. Like, if he can scout the rest of the map with this, that'll be huge. Look at the food eco for BadBoy. It almost feels like he's hacking. 500 food, and he spent more food. Oh my goodness. How much food? Hold on, let's see the difference. He's brought in 700 more food, and we're this early into the game. What a sick build order that is. And honestly, if the men-at-arms can just hold the archers back for a time, as the scout's going to run through, the scout does eventually die. Like, if these can just force the archers back and buy his way, or buy him time to go Castle Age, I think it'll be worth it. That's sick. I think T, and I've fallen into this spot as well. He has too much on wood. So what he should be doing is pulling off of wood and going for farms from the straggler trees. But he's going to have fletching here in a second, and this army's getting forced right back. The BadBoy's going to make some skirmishers, which is good. So this whole game has been very defensive from BadBoy. 5 men-at-arms. Did he lose one? I guess he lost 1 or 2 over here. So maybe he had 6 or 7, and he's going to make another one. What? All right, well, he is going to start spending a lot of the food now. Not that he wasn't before, but he's going to spend more of that food now on his upgrades. And the beauty of skirms with armor is that you probably only need 4 or 5 of them here, and then you're going to be able to force back these archers. Ooh, good fights here, though. Archers on the hill. A couple of these are weak. T doesn't see that. Now he does. Focuses them down. Actually, this is an invitation for T. He's going to realize these are armored in a second, and he's going to have to run away. But I think this is an invitation for T to just run home. And now T could maybe consider a stable. See that? Yeah, the stable, you get 1 or 2 scouts out there, and then you can deal with those skirms. So I wanna talk specifically about this, as T is gonna try and micro his best here, but it's really important because I think a lot of viewers and players don't understand how armor works, specifically when it comes to skirms, okay? Because I see a lot of people make skirms thinking that's a counter to archers, and then they'll lose the skirms to archers. So, a skirmisher has a base pierce armor of 3, right? An archer has a base attack of 4. So, if you have an unupgraded archer against an unupgraded skirm, the skirm receives 1 damage. That's what makes skirms good. They have bonus damage against the archers, but they're tanky. That's the thing. But if the opponent gets fletching, they have 5 attack against your 3 pierce armor. So even if you get fletching with your skirm, they're still able to micro you down with a considerable amount of archers. Great addition from T here, by the way, mixing in the 2 scouts. Just want to keep your archers alive here because those skirms do have a shelf life. So anyways, the point is if you get armor on your skirmishers, for whatever age you're currently in against those archers have no business fighting you. It's the same when you have crossbow with Bodcanero, which is 7 attack, against skirmishers with the 2nd armor, which is 6 pierce armor. So, moral of the story is, if you're making skirms and you're taking fights in numbers, make sure you get armor. And if you're the archer player, keep an eye on that. If they have armor, maybe make a scout. I don't know if that helped anyone at all, but there's actually a time where I was playing Viper like 4 years ago. And he was like, you need armor, man. And I was like, no, your micro's just too good. He's like, yeah, that too. But you need armor. Holy moly, look at this. Okay, so what T is thinking is this guy's not going to make any more men-at-arms now. He's just going to go knights because that's what everyone does. But BadBoy's like, guess what? Surprise, buddy. Instead of supplies, it's surprise. And he's got 9 or 8 men-at-arms. And the first thing he does with this very fast Castle Age is he clicks the longsword upgrade. Now, behind this, he goes for a town center as well. So he's going to have very good economy and with more villagers. And he is just going to pile on the pressure. So he goes in for the archer range. T is about 30 seconds away from Castle Age. It's not his best time ever, but it's also not the worst time for him. And T has 4 stables on our screen. So T is going to go knights. Now, in theory, what you could do here, a great job from T, by the way, to try and snipe some vills here. He does get one. That's our, I think, first vill kill of the game. Yep, I think so. Yeah, what you, I guess, should try and do here is you should try and make knights. And then BadBoy would, in theory, make pikemen and or monks. Yeah, we do see a monastery there. And I guess if we see some monks with the longswords, then this will be fine for T. But there's no way that T is going to be able to afford knights out of all these stables. So it's a little overkill. A problem I come into with Persians is that since their TC works so fast in Castle Age, I really struggle to have the food for army. It's like a really weird problem. Your eco is so fast and your TC is producing so much faster than an average TC that if you want to keep your villagers pumping, you need that much more food in those town centers instead of your stables. A really good fight here for T. Great micro. He's showing the difference between knights and between longswords. We do have pikemen in, and we do have a monk out. And T sees this, but full HP knight converted. And then T has to back away. And there's just a whole lot of army right now for BadBoy. And I know most of the Lowy the Legends out there have faced up against it. Longsword and pikemen is really tricky to deal with. Like, I guess you would need to have archers, right? And then you mix in the fact that Slavs get really cheap siege, and then suddenly those archers are countered, so kind of hard to know what to do. Supplies is paying off here, man. These longswords are not too expensive. And we see the knights. They're going to kill the monk, and they're going to run away. Good job. I relate to T so hard right now, though. Like he's going to try and compete with what he thinks is going to be 3 town center economy for BadBoy. And it is. But you're kind of behind the 8 ball you're struggling when it comes to production. So you're going to 3 TCs, and then they're just going to have so much army. So you got to try and do some counterattacking damage here. And you have to also defend from a very big attack that's coming to your base. It's tricky. And it's like, then the other thing you have to think about is, do I need to tech switch? So then you have to think about tech switching in a world where you're getting pushed a lot. But he is on stone, so I'm thinking he'll go defensive castle, and maybe he's actually pulling off the stone now, but maybe there's a world where he can go for commander on crossbows later on. Persian crossbows only cost wood with that upgrade. Yo, T. Buddy. Show the world what you're made of here, okay? A lot of people don't know who you are. There's a few people from the UK who are like, what? A good player from my country? Oh my god, let's root for him. He's in a T90 YouTube video? Oh my god. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Woo! There we go. The last couple minutes, he really should have been trying to use these knights offensively. Okay, he does kill a monk, though. Great reaction from BadBoy. BadBoy ends up losing 2 monks, but gets a conversion on a knight. But yeah, if you could get these knights into the gold, you know, there's ways to do some damage there. Does have to make more ranges at home, but he is going to go for crossbow to push this back. And we don't see any forward siege or anything like that for BadBoy. BadBoy, I think he knows these knights are going to be coming in, so he's going to make a few pikes over here, but knights probably won't be able to find any opportunities there. All right, yep, there's 3 knights moving around. They could actually win this fight. I think they could win this fight, and they would all survive. But I think BadBoy knows it's there, so let's look at the food collected again. Let's talk about the eco. 8,400 food collected. That's crazy. He has a lot of gold and a lot of wood. He just hasn't been able to expand as many farms or to as many farms. And obviously, he can't compete with slab farmers either. Such a sick approach here from BadBoy, who's made this all look so easy and so clean. And then this is what normally happens. You spend 5 to 10 minutes trying to build up to defend from the one thing they're doing, and then they're going to switch into something else that counters that one thing. But to be fair, BadBoy doesn't know about the additional archery ranges until now. He might even see the TC has Bodkin arrow, so he might be kind of curious and look at this. He's like, what's back here? What is this? He is definitely trying to hide that decision. Uh-oh, here come the Vills. There's nothing quite as strong as dropping a forward castle on someone's stone. Because you deny other resources as well, right? You get a good forward position. But then you can mine that stone to make another castle. And that could be wherever you want, of course, but oh man, I think if T would have had his army a little closer to the action here, he could have stopped this. It's tricky because there is still a lot of army, but the crossbows are actually good against this army. And so he notices it, and he was even patient enough to click ballistics. But I think he's going to realize that that's going to go up, and he's going to have to back away from this one. Castle on the face. You see all these villagers go to stone then. We see another TC for BadBoy. And I wonder what BadBoy does from here. Because I think the natural move is probably siege. And also the Imperial Age makes a lot of sense here too. Because you have a forward castle. Forward castle should A, deny a resource and apply pressure. Or B, be right before you go up to the Imperial Age so you can make trebs. This army will die eventually. Wait, what? Are these things Huskarls? What? These longswords are tankier than I thought. I don't know what happened there. I mean, he is killing them, so I guess it's not that big a deal. I just thought he would one-shot them. Right, BadBoy doesn't have anything in queue. I think he probably has a market at home somewhere and is going to sell some stuff. What? He just bought wood? I thought he would sell wood. He's going to go for another TC? Holy eco. And T's going to go for a TC here as well. And T is still microing the crossbows. So let's see. Longsword, 60 HP, right? I can't click it. Okay, 60 HP. 3 pierce armor? 3 pierce armor. I feel like the crossbow should be doing a little more damage, but maybe he didn't have his whole army together. They definitely didn't get a pierce armor buff. They got a melee armor buff, so they're stronger in melee fights. Like, longsword versus knight is a little stronger, for example. And okay, so T is thinking about what we were just talking about, right? Or what I was just talking about. Enemy's got a forward castle on our face. We have to make a defensive castle, and we have to go up to Imp. Unfortunately for T, it looks like he forgot his second building. He's going to panic. He's going to make the monastery. All right. One relic in for BadBoy, who seems very content with this situation. It's going to be relic number 2 and relic number 3. Potentially relic number 4 and relic number 5. He actually got the relics that were closer to the enemy first. We see more barracks. And the defensive castle is super nice, right? Because it protects your stone, your gold. I also don't think a second forward castle would accomplish too much. If you try and place it here, it probably gets denied by crossbows. Here come the crossbows, by the way. Which BadBoy doesn't have any real defense for, but he's just got town centers everywhere. Here you've got a knight, a very weak knight, and the monk's going to convert it, heal it up. I would switch sides too, buddy. Okay, here comes the Persian crossbow army. And the issue I have with Persians is just... They do feel a little lackluster. Granted, on paper, I think they should be a lot stronger. But especially in situations where they're not against archer civs, I would say they struggle. Because their knights get extra attack versus archers, so if you go like Persian paladin, it feels much stronger than having paladin with some other civs. A nice shot from T. He's cutting off the reinforcements here. He also defends from this attack. He is going to be in the Imperial Age faster. And I think BadBoy has maybe played a little too relaxed over the last couple minutes. Losing his units here in the center. Tossed away a lot of army. He's got a crazy Vil count, and he is on the way to Imp now, but he could lose his forward position here in this game. So, I mean, T is probably going to go for Commander on guys. And he's prepared for this. He has a lot of wood. So anytime your buddy's speccing one of your games, and he says to you, wow, your eco is really bad. You need to make wood with those farms. Say, no, bro, I just thought it was Persians. I thought I was going to make those crossbows that only cost wood. I've actually never used that excuse before, so don't steal that. Actually, you can steal that in a month after I use that a few times. Yeah, just floating wood because I know my civ bonus, bro. Like, come on, I prepared. Really sucks when you don't have space to expand farms. You can see T is trying to find space for farms constantly. Ooh, you know what would be really good here? Crossbow that only cost wood and hand cannons. What would you make against that if you're BadBoy? You'd probably need to go siege, or you would need to go into stable units. But chemistry's on the way. That gives the crossbows extra attack, but that also means you can make hand cannons. That would be really good. This army's so slow, which is so sad to see. And you really want more mobility on the map at this stage of the game. But we're going to have barracks as well. Yeah, I think what we're going to see here is Halb and hand cannon. And then you get Halb out if they go for something like Cavalier. Yeah, BadBoy clearly is happy to have given up this area. He's actually just taking this stone and dropping another castle. And I wouldn't call it disrespect, but I would call it extreme confidence. BadBoy is just... He's just got an incredible economy. Let's check the stats again before we see a big fight. Yeah, he's collected 8,000 more food in this game. That food eco and the stone eco has been crazy. He can afford to give up a castle on the front. There is the commander on upgrade. I actually feel like it should be a little cheaper. I think at one point it was cheaper, but it is very strong in late game, man. These crossbows, not near as good as Narblest, of course, but only costing wood is not bad. You don't need to make any skirmishers, for example, which would probably be your option with another civ. Again, I think you do need to mix in hand cannons, though, because champion is still very, very strong against crossbow. I think that's the key. If you've got like 20 crossbows and 20 hand cannoneers, then you're okay. BadBoy has two-handed swordsman, and BadBoy's coming over here. Oh, could he deny the TC? He's so close to denying that. I think it will complete. It's a Persian TC, too, so it'll be very strong. And yeah, this is just a situation where BadBoy has more units. And BadBoy has all the relics, so BadBoy can just spam these two-handed swordsmen in from wherever he pleases. TC will take a while to go down again because it's Persian, but yeah, crossbows have to back away. Yes, they only cost wood, but yes, there's still crossbows and imp that don't have bracer. And your other unique tech with Persians makes your elephants faster. So, I mean, that doesn't help you. Oh, man, this is such a mistake, T. Don't just make crossbows. I mean, there is a world where if enough two-handed swordsmen die and he gets enough crossbows that maybe it's okay. But, I mean, BadBoy, he's just dominating him now. Castle here. And BadBoy says, sure, I have cheap siege. Sure, I can make hussar. Sure, I can make skirms. But, like, who gives a crap? I just want to make champions. Not sure if he got Drazina or not, but Drazina would be huge here. Really helps the Slav infantry. 200 pop for BadBoy. 147 villagers. 77 farms with the fastest farming civ in the game. Champions now in. The KD is not impressive. Oh god, we got elephants. What? We actually have elephants. A moment ago, I said we wouldn't see this. Hype. Okay. I mean, if you had more resources, crossbow elephant would unironically be probably the best composition for Persian. So, now granted, you'd want to have elite war elephant, and you'd want to have more blacksmith upgrades, and you want to have a bunch of other things too. But, you know, they're still very strong. Okay, lots of units going down. There's this one champion back here doing the Lord's work, getting some kills, but that gets cleared. Okay, so T, based on the score, is probably feeling like maybe I've got a shot here. 170 pop's not that bad, but now you've got another army coming in. It's resources. I really hope BadBoy goes for Onager. He's got the siege workshops. I mean, click Onager, man. You've got 3,000 food and 1,400 gold. I like how the champions just stroll past the barracks. Like, oh, what are you going to make out of there, bud? You're not going to make long swords, that's for sure. Also, I love how T didn't make a single halb. Because he never well, I think he might have made one or two. But he clicked the halb upgrade because he expected Cavalier. He never expected someone to open champion. Look at this. We actually have heavy scorpion and elite boyar on the way. How can he afford all of this? 84 farms. Scorpions, huh? You know, scorpions would actually be really good here. We don't see heavy scorpion research too frequently because you need to have a good foothold for that to work, and usually players can outmaneuver the other. But in this case, T is very much stuck in the corner of the map, so scorpions would be pretty good. He's desperately trying to expand. He's going to mix in stables now to probably make some hussars. But truthfully, he hasn't really been spending a lot of gold. Hold on, let me look at the food count again. 34,000. What? That's nuts. By the way, I almost said that's 1,000 food a minute. And then I looked and it's 48 minutes, so I got that wrong. I don't know what I was thinking. It's well past 34 minutes. Siege Ram on the way now for BadBoy as well. And I assume he's going to make some boyars, but he didn't make any yet. The elephants and the crossbows. Actually, there's a ton of them. There's 175 pop for T. Does T have a chance in this game? Is BadBoy toying with him too much? Well, enemy armies here. What do? Let's make an elephant. All right, crossbows are going to chase that down. We now have Onager on the way. Okay, so it is exciting to see someone go champion, but this hasn't been that effective with only champion. As we now have BadBoy selling some wood. This guy's going to have resources all game, though. It feels like he could lose a bunch of armies and it can still be fine. Probably not the best time for T to refresh a lumber camp there. Unless they're going to refresh it over here, then that's probably, you know, better spot for it. And there we go. Here's a raid for the first time in the game. Since those archers got kills earlier, we're going to see some red villagers go down. Let's look at BadBoy's point of view. God, this must be so fun. He sees everything. He sees these villagers are going down. That's a neutral gold. He figures, whatever, we'll give the opponent the gold. I've got 84 on food with Slavs. Who cares? He's going to go Ram champion. Now, Ram is tricky here. because you don't have a lot of melee units out there if you're T. And any melee units you do have are either elephants or light cav. And light cav died at champion, and elephants are expensive. So it feels like, granted, I'm not a fan of 2 rams. I'm always a big fan of 5 as at a minimum. It feels like a ram push could be really successful here. BadBoy is doing a wonderful demonstration of why people don't go straight champion. Yeah, pretty much. But big onager shot there. And it's honestly not a bad unit to go with if you have the position that he has. Look at this, by the way. He somehow is stonewalling this as the light cav are coming across because he saw the army was leaving earlier. And yeah, he's tossing a bunch of army here. Guys, is there a chance that BadBoy throws this? Is he toying with the 2K player a little bit too much? I mean, I would have considered resigning when the champions were running into my base, because there was no win condition for T. T just straight up didn't have a relic, he didn't have any extra gold, but now he's got extra gold. He's not going to have relics, but he's got 70 army, and he can make crossbows for days. Siege onager now on the way. Okay. So T is trying to get himself out of this massive hole. I think the way to do it is to continue to send batches of light cav to the sides. So he went this way. He saw that was open, but then it was walled up. So, right, he knew he could run around this way. Now he's going to try the other side. He's not going to like that castle's there, but that does kind of give him a target if he wants to tread push something. And you could always run past the castle. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of eco over here. Kill some of those farmers. We'll probably be able to move on to the wood lines too. And yeah, BadBoy. I don't think it's exactly fair to say he's been trolling, but I think he's been playing with his food a little bit. And he could live to regret that. T has the lead. At least with population. Yeah, he didn't make a heavy scorpion. He didn't make a bowyar, right? Like, there's aspects of this where he clearly is just having fun and seeing how many technologies he can get. And I would say it's trolling if he... Well, no, I'm trying to think of an example on how that'd be trolling. I think it's trolling if he never tries to win the game and he just, like, toys with the guy. He was still trying to make pushes, right? I've had situations where, like, I think in BadBoy's position, if I was playing, I would think that I had won the game, like, long time ago. And if they're not resigning, then you're like, okay, let's see if we can experiment with some stuff. It's kind of funny, though, that the player who's spending a lot of crossbows on wood is running out of wood. Like, he was in that corner for so long. He's genuinely going to have wood issues if this game continues much longer. Okay, hold on 1 second. 1 second. Do this for the people. There's no more T90 blind on this stream. Here we go. Here we have a big shot, and boom! Glad we saw that one. Crossbows go down, and that's what siege onagers can do. And remember, it's cheap with the slabs, people. It's very cheap with the slabs. And now hussars show up, and now we see Halb, which is good. Worth reminding you that the last armor is available for Persians. T just didn't get that. Now we have hussars, we have champions, and now it's 70 army for both players. Which army's gonna be stronger? Okay, didn't hit yet, but there might be a highlight here. And boom! That's what siege onagers can do. Now the elephants are tanky, and the elephants are helping a lot. But T's pop just plummeted down to 150, just like that. Whoa, these elephants are sick. Wow, you don't get to see these units enough. Holy crap. These are the tusked tanks, the beefy boys, well, I'll come up with something else next. Wow, and also the Treps stay alive. What? How is T still holding here? You know what I think? 1 or 2 siege onagers is fine, but I really think going for Scorpion would be better here. If you had 10 Scorpions mixed in with this comp, and you had a little bit of a meat shield so the enemy hussars couldn't take it out, I think that would be better than prioritizing siege onagers. Yeah, they're not elite, but why even get elite when... Here, how many kills did they get? 35 kills belong to those elephants right there. You still get 470 HP on these things, so if you can't commit to a lot of them, you probably shouldn't get elite. Just make 4 or 5, and it seems to work in these situations. But yeah, exactly. Scorpions, you tend to see scorpions all the time in deathmatch against elephants. So scorpion, I don't know exactly what the bonus damage is, but it would help a lot against the elephants. The problem for T is he needs to take a position on the side. Like, at the moment, BadBoy doesn't have to worry about getting hit at his base. And he is controlling the game. So what T needs to do is he needs to continue to push here and take good fights. It's actually still a really good fight. But he needs to mass up some rams or trebs or something. I'd say 4 trebs and dive in for a castle. Because if you clear out that castle, and maybe this one too, I guess, you can then raid. He's having a really tough time raiding, but he won't resign. He won't resign. But I think he should. But, oh man, this is like, you just don't want to see that, you know? Right after winning a fight, that's the last thing you want to see. Still has 1,000 gold in the bank. Truthfully, hasn't spent a lot of that. And siege onagers and scorpions now. And hussars in the front. And look how BadBoy's using the hussars. He's using them as a meat shield. He is going to commit to some fights, but he'll probably pull back and let the siege do their thing. See that? Really good army control here. Also has more army in queue the entire time. And T's like, well, crap. What do I do against that? And T's pop is down to 170 now. He only has 30 military and rip to the halbs. Yeah, Scorpion is very strong. And, oh, this is such a good way to close out the game, guys. Textbook stuff. So he controlled the hussars perfectly, allowed the Scorpions and siege onagers to get their kills, and then he shows up with 4 trebs. Perfect. I love to see that. He might have still taken out the castle if he only had 1 or 2 trebs, because he also had the rams. But what did I say a couple minutes ago about blue? 4 trebs is the way to go in imp, I think. Gold is normally hard to come by at that stage, so you do not want to lose those trebs if you don't, or without taking out a castle. And I don't know if T had a rough day at work or whatever, but yeah, there we go. Finally, T calls the GG. Took him a while to come to grips with reality there. That was silly, man. You want to know the most exciting thing about this game for me? I mean, we got to see a lot of different units. We got to see some really dominating play from BadBoy. But the sickest thing about this game is how he opened Feudal. So let's go back there. Like, that was nuts to me. So his a normal play is you go man-at-arms into a range. And with that type of a build, you make the militia while you're on your way to Feudal. And so he scouts that T is going for man-at-arms. And this should almost be a separate video. He knows he's going for man-at-arms. So he thinks, okay, let's wall it out for now. And because Slavs get supplies for free, he clicks the man-at-arm upgrade the first time, the second he gets to Feudal Age. Then he makes the man-at-arms, and he just uses them defensively. And he made just enough where the archers weren't able to push out across the map. And if you fast forward, just watch his food. Watch his food count, right? Slavs have faster farmers, he has horse collar, and he has his wood upgrade. And then at this stage, he hasn't invested into a range, which is the savings of wood, of course. He can go for the farms, and he's got 500, at some point he ends up having 500 food, even after producing the men-at-arms. And the opponent is like just now coming out across the map. That was sick. How he opened Feudal Age was so good. Now, I think someone at his level would probably punish it a little bit more than T was able to do. I think T should not have taken that fight, and T maybe should have been more patient, but still, it made it look very easy. And there's the end game statistics. 61,000 food collected. Wait a second. Wait, how many minutes was the whole game? No, it was 62 minutes. Oh, it was almost 1,000 food a minute. I almost called it. Sorry, I don't know why I'm jumping all around now. Can I still go back? There we go. Yeah, there's the stats. More food, more gold, more stone. This guy was controlling the map. He had no doubt in his mind that he was going to be able to win that game. Did have a pretty 50-50 KD there for a player that had that many resources, but that's what happens when you toss away 200 champions underneath castles and crossbows. APM was still pretty solid for both of them, but yeah, I think T just fell behind in Castle Age. Probably not his best game. Probably has the worst Civ there as well. And BadBoy is a tier or two above him, but that was a solid one. Not every day you get to see every tech imaginable with Slavs. Oh, wait, did it say how many champions were created? I always forget to look at that. 294 champions created. So yeah, that's basically why he had so many deaths in this game. Yeah, freaking champions, but it's GG nonetheless.